but he seemed to go straight after Nakatani.
I expected a motivated Lomachenko, but sometimes our mind is more motivated than our body gets us, you know?
It probably hurts the fighters more than it helps them.
And also because 147 pounds is not a weight I believe Gervonta Davis should fight. I think we've got I'm ready to field these guys right now. I'm ready to put these guys on the field right now.
Yes, people, I am Savage Dan.
I'm Paulie Malignaggi.
You are watching Mouthpiece, the official boxer podcast. This episode is sponsored by the Tumeric Co. The Tumeric Co. creates great tasting turmeric shots that harness the power of natural ingredients to support individuals on their wellness journey, offering anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, energy and immunity booster benefits. Welcome back to Mouthpiece. I am Savage Dan.
I'm Paulie the Magic Man Malignaggi.
This episode is brought to you by the Tumeric Co. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Send in your videos of you training, sparring, all of that. And me and Paulie are going to judge it. Paulie, we had two huge not games. My mind's on the Euros. We had two huge fights this weekend. And let's start with the Matrix, Lomachenko. He came back. He looked phenomenal. He looked like he didn't miss a beat. You know, sometimes people kind of limp back from a defeat and kind of are slightly more cautious, but he seemed to go straight after Nakatani.
Yeah, he really looked even better than I expected. You know, I expected a motivated Lomachenko, but sometimes our mind is more motivated than our body gets us. You know, he seems 100% back from injury, and also he seems 100% motivated in all ways. You know, and I think it showed in the fight. I mean, he dominated Nakatani in beyond anything that I could have imagined. You know, Nakatani's a tough guy. You know, I wouldn't say I expected Nakatani to win the fight, but I did have some of my friends saying like, "Oh, this could be an upset. It could be an upset." Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not gonna go as far as to say I thought it was gonna be an upset, but I did expect Nakatani to be more troubling for Loma. Really impressive performance, and again, one of the reasons why I really love Lomachenko is because I think he's the only guy in boxing who wants to fight everybody. I mean, if there's fights that aren't getting made with Lomachenko, it's because they don't want to. It's because said opponent doesn't want to fight Lomachenko. Lomachenko will fight anybody in and around his weight class. Obviously, he's not going to heavyweight, but in and around his weight class, if you offer him the Tank fight tomorrow, he'll take it. If you offer him the Haney fight tomorrow, he'll take it. If you offer him the Lopez rematch tomorrow, he'll take it. So this is a guy who really is impressive, and he continues to try to live that way as well. Nakatani for a comeback opponent after an injury. And after a loss even, you know, really impressive display of boxing.
Speaking of fighting anyone, it appears that everyone has agreed to the Lopez rematch. Do you think we see it? Do you want to see it? What do you think happens? You know, I'm of the thought that Loma started late for whatever reason, probably just a little bit skeptical of the power, but as the fight went on, he got warmer and warmer and warmer and went after Lopez.
I did.
What if he starts fast this time?
That's the thing. You start fast, you know, you have a strong Lopez as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's strong in round one, as they say, right? And you got to kind of break them down. So, you know, you're risking starting out fast against a very strong Lopez, against a very good fighter in Lopez. I give credit to Lomachenko. He has a willingness to fight the best. To me, maybe more than anybody else in boxing right now, you know? No excuses, no frills. He wants to go at the most risky fights in and around his weight class. And while I thought for Lopez, it's a situation where probably he could try to get Josh Taylor next at 140 pounds. I don't think it's a bad fight for Lopez. He's got the confidence, and he feels like he can beat Lomachenko. For Lomachenko, though, while it's redemption in his own mind, I don't feel like I just feel like nobody really appreciates this guy like he really needs to be appreciated. You know, He comes back and beats Lopez. I don't know. I think it's a massive statement if he could do that. I have a hard time thinking he can win that fight, though. You know, but if he comes back and beats Lopez, that's a massive statement. Again, for a guy who literally would fight anybody, he's the only guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see everybody chomping at the bit to fight the very best guys they can get. You know, he realizes that his window is there, and he wants to not leave any stone unturned. Whatever guys he can beat, he can beat. If guys beat him, they beat him. But he wants to fight them all. You know, really a throwback kind of fighter. I mean, listen. They make Lopez and Lomachenko too. Everybody's gonna want to watch, including me. But I don't think it's the best fight for both guys. You know, I would have more so leaned towards Lopez versus Josh Taylor at 140 pounds, and Lomachenko, to have several other options whatever else he could get, because I don't think Lomachenko will be appreciated if he wins the fight. And even Lopez, I don't think he would be appreciated if he wins the rematch, because the critics are just beyond stupid now, But I think it's a real risk fight, and credit to both guys if they do fight each other, But the way it'll be received by the public, by the media, critics, I remain skeptical. Maybe I'm a little jaded because I'm used to seeing such an unappreciative bunch.
If he can do it, if anyone can do it, it's probably going to be Loma. I've seen this. I saw a documentary or a feature on Sky Sports, and he seems to be able to do everything. He can play football. He can fish. He can play hockey. He can do literally anything. He's just very naturally, just athletic. And just has such
even do MMA.
a strong mindset.
He was doing Sambo Judo till he was like 15 years old. He's very good at Sambo Judo as well. So you could throw him in an MMA cage.
Yeah, if anyone is capable of beating Lopez and getting his belts back, it is Lomachenko. But do you know what? Me, selfishly, as a fan, it is the fight I wanted to see, because I feel like for Lomachenko, yes, there are other fights out there. But are there really other fights out there?
Let me play devil's advocate, because I 100% agree with you on terms of he's going for it. But what if he loses? We'll understand his greatness nonetheless, but everybody else is going to completely write him off as if he accomplished nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the problem, and this is why guys don't want to be the fighter that everybody wants them to be. This is why, because as soon as they go for all the best fights, all the toughest opponents, and they do come up short, right away they're written off as he's a failure. So and then they complain. Those same people then complain why they can't make this fight versus this fight, this fight versus this fight. Stop with the criticism when they do take all these fights. It shouldn't be this way, but if he fights him again and loses, it's going to be a situation where people will write off a lot of the accomplishments of his career.
Yeah, big risk. Massive
unfortunately,
risk.
And wrongly.
Also this weekend, we have Tank Davis, who has managed to pick up another world title. I know it's not a genuine world title.
I don't consider the secondary title.
But on paper, it is a world title. He beat Barrios, and he had to kind of come from behind to do it. He definitely had a bit of trouble struggling with the height and reach of Barrios. Eventually, after kind of a cry from Floyd Mayweather, he gets to him and gets the stoppage.
Well, here's the thing. I was impressed with this performance by Tank. You're carrying up your power to a higher weight class. That's number one. Number two, I don't Monday morning quarterback it. I thought Barrios was possibly Tank's best opponent. Inexperienced, and nonetheless, but still, I thought talent-wise, he brought a lot to the table that a lot of opponents hadn't, that Tank has fought. So, I was impressed with the way he handled it. Yeah, sure, he was. I thought he had trouble in the beginning. The judges had it even after 6. I think it was probably even more towards Barrios, but Tank showed a lot of wrinkles in his arsenal, and the experience really told, because the second half of the fight where the experience really comes through, and that's where Gervonta was able to really show that, again, power, he got knockdowns with both hands, right hook, left cross, and also body shots. So the complete repertoire of offense shown in the knockdowns he scored, right? He can hurt you with both hands, as we just said. He's got that nice counter uppercut. He can counter you. Here's the thing: if you're a guy like Barrios, because you always want to wonder how a guy is going to close the gap on the taller fighter, right? Here's what I noticed Gervonta has against a guy who even is tall, right? He can counter you with that left uppercut off your own jab, because the tall guy's going to want to use his jab, right? But he can also counter your same jab with his right hook as well over the top of it, So that's two methods he has to close the gap on you while you're trying to hit him.
Yeah.
One mistake I thought Barrios was making when Gervonta started taking control and started backing him up a lot. Here's one of the things I used to have success with and not to bring myself into this, but I got to use it because it's an example of the one method I used to use. Mm-hmm. The reason why a lot of guys didn't walk me down, with the exception of Sean Porter, really a lot of guys, I was comfortable with them walking me down because I could control the way they walked me down. Here's how. When a guy is backing you up completely, because at a certain point, Gervonta started backing up Barrios too much to where Barrios became almost ineffective, The guy coming forward will give you opportunities because his momentum is now consistently coming forward. You can time him. You can set a bait shot and then walk him into something hard. and that will kind of smother and stop their confidence in the forward momentum. You do that a couple of times, they may still pressure you, but now they're slowed down just a gear, and you can kind of time them off your jab again. Barrios didn't do that, and that's what I would have liked to see Barrios start to do, because Gervonta, once he started taking his confidence, Barrios was backing up more and more and more, and even the shots Barrios was throwing on that back foot, they weren't the same way. He needed to try to walk Gervonta into something good, something solid, something to get his attention, and then follow that up. Instead, Gervonta, once he kind of took that control in the second half of the fight, especially when he started scoring the knockdowns, you could see something come out of Barrios mentally. And of course, it could be the inexperience. It's also the fact that, Gervonta is taking control, and it's his experience now. He knows how to handle the second half of the fight. I thought it was a well-fought fight. I thought Gervonta showed what he needed to show. Also, another impressive thing with Gervonta Davis is he showed he's an exciting fighter. That was an exciting fight to watch. Because Gervonta, took some shots. He's not totally reckless, but he's hittable. At the same time, that makes him exciting, and he doesn't mentally go into a folding pattern or mentally go into a freezing pattern when hit. He fights. He's got a lot of, as you guys call, spite in him. You hit him, you touch him, and he wants to get you back. So there's a lot of qualities in Gervonta Davis that can make him really exciting, and do make him really exciting. But I think the better the opposition is, the better he can show how fun of a fighter he is to watch. Yeah. It doesn't necessarily mean he's going to win all these fights, but I do think he's quality enough to win a lot of them against a lot of top guys. And I think this fight really proved a lot to me in that, not because Barrios is the world beater, but Barrios is a very good fighter. I think Barrios is going to have a good career nonetheless. But I do think that Gervonta has a combination of excitement, and that's not just to do with his power. It's his mentality in the ring and his skill combined with his skill set.
Is this the highest that Tank can go in weight? 140. I don't know if he belongs up there. He can hold his weight up there. Should he stay there? Should he be going back down?
And that's where I worry about him, because once you realize a fighter is both good and fun, which we knew Gervonta was good. We didn't know how good, because I really had questioned his level of opposition to this point. So we knew he's good, but now we also know he's fun. He's fun even against good fighters. He's fun. You want him to stick around. You don't want him to go anywhere. So you start pushing this kid up too many weight classes, he's gonna get knocked off just for being the smaller guy. One positive thing is he did carry a good amount of power up to 140 pounds, but he's the kind of guy you also want to make sure he sticks around. Don't make him, and that doesn't mean feed him softies, because he fought enough softies. So don't feed him softies. But what I'm saying by that is make him fight good opposition, because it brings out the best and most fun qualities in him. But don't keep him going up in weight, because these kind of fun fights he fights against bigger guys are going to start to hurt him. And you want to keep a fun fighter like this around for a while getting the most out of him. So I would say I would like to see Gervonta stay at 140, even go back down to 135, me personally.
We heard Floyd Mayweather talk about keeping business in camp, in PBC, in TMT. It doesn't look good in terms of future opponents for him, because everyone else seems to be with either Top Rank or DAZN, or it kind of creates a cold war that is going to be hard to feed him enough opponents to keep us captivated, to keep us excited. Yeah,
it seems like Mayweather's going to take the Bob Arum approach with Terence Crawford, in that you're keeping everything in house, and you keep some winning, so business continues to flow, money continues to come in, but you can't get the fights that people want to watch. So you'll see a lot of showcase fights with Gervonta, just like you do with Terence Crawford.
Should this be happening this early? I mean,
it shouldn't be. No, it shouldn't. I don't agree with it. It shouldn't be happening this early. This is actually why boxing has a big problem with keeping fans. And so the more of a name Gervonta keeps growing for himself, the more people are going to want to see these fights. But, I mean, personally, I think it's the time to make these big risk fights. But again, people prioritize business over the sport. And I get where Floyd Mayweather's coming from, because Bob did the same thing and does the same thing to this day. With Terence Crawford has the same kind of problem, but I don't know, man. I feel like Gervonta's the kind of fighter where even if he loses, he's still fun. Now, does that mean he's not going to generate the same money? If that's what that means, then people have their answer of what's wrong with boxing, because you cannot punish fighters for losing, being fun, being effective, being must-see TV, and then when they lose, you punish them by taking away their paychecks or diminishing their paychecks. That's the whole problem with boxing then. Because with Gervonta, you have a guy like this, but now you want to see him against everybody, right? But you're going to take the safe route because we're going to keep the money flowing? Yeah. Because if we don't keep the money flowing, if we make a risk, because personally, as much as fun as I think Gervonta is, what I saw from Lomachenko Saturday, I still think Lomachenko beats Gervonta Davis right now. If they fight right now, I think Lomachenko beats Gervonta Davis. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to want to watch Gervonta Davis every time he fights, anytime after that fight. You know, if Gervonta Davis loses a fight, he's shown me time and again in his career that he's a must-see fighter. You want to watch him. You want to watch the guy. He's fun. He brings excitement. You want to watch the guy. So I don't care if he gets a loss. I want to watch the guy again. You know, so keeping that in mind, that's the mentality the networks have to have, the promoters have to have with the fighters to keep their fans interested, because you're going to wind up at a point where, like Terence Crawford, you wind up at a lot of showcase fights. Sure, people love the way he fights, but you know, it's hard
until
to
when, you know,
appreciate.
we can pretty much guess what fighters Tank beats. You know, we can list them. The only ones we're unsure of are the ones that he now won't be able to fight if they do continue this Cold War. So it probably hurts the fighters more than it helps them.
And also because 147 pounds is not a weight I believe Gervonta Davis should fight. And PBC has all 147s, but below that, so. There's one kid who's coming up the ladder I really rate really highly, and he's looking better and better. He's 130 pounds. I think he could fight at 135 maybe. I don't know about 140. It's Chris Colbert, who's fighting this coming weekend. I think Chris Colbert has a lot of wrinkles. He fights out of both stances. Really slick, really good fighter, really smart fighter. I've known him since he's a kid. He was actually that annoying kid all the time. I always tell him, man, you were so annoying as a kid, and now, you know, you develop into a fine young man and a fine young fighter. I think Chris can be developed into a fighter that can really become a stellar opponent for Gervonta and pose a big risk to Gervonta. But you're still in the process of creating that image of Chris, you know. And Chris is looking good every time he wins, every time he fights. He's got a tough fight Saturday because Yorkis Gamboa pulled out of his fight, and he's got Tugstat, the Mongolian, he's an Olympic silver medalist who's not an easy guy to deal with, you know. So, you know, performances, bearing in performances, I think Chris is an opportunity to really bring his name up to a level, and possibly Chris is a big 130 pounder, so I think he'll go up to 135 pounds. You make that fight with Gervonta at 135. That's the only guy that's really sticking out to me right now.
Yeah.
You know, I think everybody else is kind of small. Gary Russell's a really good fighter, but he's kind of small. Doesn't mean Gary wouldn't take the fight. I think Gary would take the fight at this point. I think it's the way Gary just wants to fight in general. But yeah, you're having a hard time kind of fitting in the Lomachenko, Haney type name opponents there. You know, you really are. What about this, Dan? What do you think? I don't think Luke Campbell's in a contract with anybody anymore, right? I mean, since he lost to Ryan Garcia, right? Is Luke Campbell in a contract with anybody? The guys get to the point where they kind of become free at the end of their careers, right? Yeah. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing Luke Campbell with Gervonta Davis. Show me that fight then.
No, it's a good fight, but I am being selfish and greedy as a fan, and I want to see the best, who I consider to be the best in that division, fight everyone else who was the best in that division. I'm not worried so much about Davis versus Luke Campbell anymore. I'm more worried about Davis versus Haney versus Lomachenko versus Lopez versus Garcia. That's what I want, and
well, you know what?
I won't get it.
You know what? One of the problems it comes down to is when we are marketing fake belts. Because if everybody knew 100% that Gervonta Davis has never been a 135-pound world champion and a 140-pound world champion, then people would demand that Gervonta Davis get a title shot against the 135-pound world champion and the 140-pound world champion. Because Gervonta Davis has really never been a world champion at 135 or 140, regardless of what everybody talks about. He's had a major world title, 2 major world titles at 130 pounds. So if we would stop creating these BS belts, the demand for a guy like Gervonta, who's fun, effective, exciting, to get our legitimate title shot now would be like, no, we got to make this fight. No way you can't have this guy fight for a title. He's got to get... Instead, you're creating fake belts. He's a champion. What does it matter? Yeah. So you're just creating an out, a back door for the fight not to get made. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So the whole creation of secondary belts and then that is a problem, because if you didn't have that, the demand for Gervonta Davis to get a real title fight would be extreme, because this kid is an impressive kid who's shown all the qualities he needs to. It would be an extreme demand, and there's no way you wouldn't be able to make it. Instead, you got fake belts, and you can just pick and choose.
Well, we're gonna have to hope that this finds a way to fix itself at some point. Oh yeah, over the next couple of years, it needs to fix itself somehow. We need to see the big fights. This weekend, there are not a lot of fights happening. So we're doing something completely different. It is Euro 2020 in the year 2021. And Paulie, me and you, we're going to do an international boxing draft. So we're going to do it based on football. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick a starting 11. You can decide whether we go 4-4-2 or 4-3-3. And we're going to pick boxers based on their attributes and basically pick who, for example, a goalkeeper, you'd want somebody with the fastest hands. So Gary Russell's immediately in the mix and so forth. You want a best finisher for a striker, probably a very well-rounded fighter for a midfielder, effective, blah, blah,
I'm
blah.
I'm gonna go 4-3-1-2. I like that number 10 right behind the forwards.
We're building this together, so I'm with you. 4-3-1-2.
All right.
That's very Italian.
Yeah,
that's very, very Italian.
And
I'm with it.
That one behind the forwards has to be a nice creative guy. So I'm gonna start with that Terence Crawford.
Cool. So you're starting in the 10. And
yeah, I'm starting the number 10 is always a debate, right? Are you a number 10?
Do you? Yeah, I suppose. Do you know what? I would probably have him as one of the two. We're playing 4-3-1-2, right?
My lineup is going to be 4-3-1-2. You can make your lineup whatever you want, Dan.
Okay, but we're doing one together. We're not fighting. We're not against each other. So we'll go 4-3-1-2. You want Terence Crawford in the hole. Let me write this stuff down. Terence Crawford goes in the hole.
Yeah, because you need somebody, a creative playmaker, and Terence has all the creativity that you want.
And he's crafty.
Yes.
And he'll sneak into positions.
Exactly.
All right, let's go over goalkeeper. Who's got the fastest hands?
All right. Gary Russell has the fastest hands, but he's a little bit short. You need a nice tall goalkeeper, especially the modern keeper is very tall. Okay,
yeah.
So I'd say for a heavyweight, Tyson Fury's fast, and he's also very tall. So I put in Tyson Fury as my keeper.
I agree. All right. Centre backs. You're gonna want the best defenses in boxing.
So here's the thing about the centre backs now, because again, in a very Italian style. You also have
want a ball playing centre back.
You have very physical defenders too, right? So it's like the physical guys tend not to be so defensive, right? So,
if we're playing four at the back, them two have to be a partnership. You almost want it to be a beauty and a beast.
Yeah.
One that can do the physical stuff, one that's going to drop off and just have a very good mind about him.
All right.
Who's
who's got a good mix?
Boy?
Who's got a mix of those two? Canelo. He can bang you. But he's
Do
also
you feel like we are wasting Canelo at centre back?
That's true too. Yeah, because he could be up top as well. Yeah. All right. This is a very intriguing
centre backs.
Let's see.
You want someone that is.
I feel like I'm looking for Russians and Mexicans for centre backs, right? But
who likes to fight mid range, mid to short range? And is effective at doing it.
Sean Porter.
Let's go Sean Porter.
He's like my Gentile.
Won't win many headers, but we'll pair him up nicely.
He'll kick out your legs.
Yes.
And you'll never go his way again with the same enthusiasm.
As a centre back, Beterbiev?
Yeah. Emotionless. Does the job, effective, powerful.
And scary.
Yeah.
That's the centre-back partnership.
Okay.
Full-backs.
Need some
good balance.
Yeah, need some speed.
Good stamina.
Needs some speed. Good stamina. So it's guys who go rounds. Man, see everybody. Let's see. Who's guys that go some rounds?
Devin Haney?
Yeah. Devin Haney's actually not bad. Yeah, that's a good choice.
As a right back.
Yeah, that's not a bad choice.
Should we get a left footer for a left back?
We need a southpaw for the other side. Yeah, we need a southpaw for the other side. For the other side, let's see. You know what?
I like the way this team's looking.
I like. I know what? I'm gonna keep harping on my boy Chris Colbert. I like. He can go. He can go left-handed.
Let's do it.
He's slick. He's effective, and he's got good stamina.
Right. The 2 DMs. Oh, not the 2 DMs. It's the 3 centre mids. Oh, I'm taking it. One is doing the Jorginho-esque kind of job. Who's just
the possession,
the brain. Yeah.
And one
the ring generalship. I'm guessing someone who's in just controls this fight.
Yep. I like Lomachenko.
You like Loma there?
Yeah.
Let's do it. It's all about relationships, this midfield. What if you pair him up with an Usyk somewhere in that midfield?
Yeah, and they are a good pair. They're always together. They know each other well. Yeah.
Loma and Usyk, that they are similar-ish in the way they're going to play.
Yeah, and they also have a good chemistry, which you need, you know.
Do we need something a bit different? Someone who's going to break the lines?
Yeah.
A Locatelli.
Yeah, we need a Locatelli. That's what Italy needs too. We gotta sit Verratti out.
All right. Who is gonna be a bit more adventurous? Is it Canelo?
Yeah. Actually, it could be Canelo. Canelo sometimes doesn't have the aggressiveness I like to see, but he takes on everybody. You know.
Loma, Usyk, and Canelo. I think Canelo.
If we're getting in this team, Canelo's our Emil Heskey. Exactly. He's our Christian Vieri. Yeah.
There we go.
He's our
Hold up
Vieri.
play.
Yeah.
So we're missing 2. We're gonna have Canelo coming towards the ball, and someone going in behind him. And who is that? Have to be pacey.
Yeah, it has to be a pacey guy
and a very good finisher.
Could we pair Jamal Charlo with him?
Yeah. Or does Jamal Charlo go in this midfield? Is he the third man in this midfield?
Yeah. You know what? That could be our Locatelli too, no?
There you go.
Yeah.
That is. Now we're just missing a striker. Someone to hit the back of the net every single time.
I think Jameller, his ex-opponent Tony Harrison, who just does, Tony's the kind of guy who just will touch the ball and it goes in. You know what I mean? Not a lot of frills. Tony, the way he fights is, simplistic but effective. Yes.
Let's go. Do you know what? Every team at these tournaments needs someone who just comes and lights it up, and no one even expected them to do it. This tournament is shit for Czech Republic. Yes. And in our team, it's going to be Harrison.
It's going to be Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison's our Patrick Schick. I like it.
All right, cool. So we have Fury at the back, a centre-back partnership of Porter and Bitabiev. Then we have Colbert left back, Haney at right back, Loma and Usyk in the midfield with Jamal Charlo, Crawford in the 10, Canelo playing the kind of hold-up striker with Harrison flying off him into the channels.
I think we've got I'm ready to field these guys right now. I'm ready to put these guys on the field right now.
And there we go. Malignaggi as head coach.
Who's the captain on the field?
I'm not even... Do you know what? I remember when Oliver Kahn was German keeper and Buffon was Italian keeper and Fury in this team looks to me like
Neuer is a captain, I think, for Germany now too. Yeah.
So all right. I think Fury.
I was gonna say it's between Fury and Canelo, but we go to Fury.
Yeah. Right, Paulie, we have our starting 11, but I'm sure at these tournaments you get 5 subs. We're gonna need, I'm gonna say we don't need a substitute goalkeeper because it just doesn't make that much sense. I feel like Fury's going to hold his own, but we definitely need fighters that are going to come on and change the game should we need them.
Yep. Yeah, so
there's a lot to pick from. Where do you want to start? Who have we missed out that almost made the starting 11?
Let's see. We got the game-changing power of Inouye.
Yes.
Right. Where can we stick in a game changer like Inouye? Do we?
I think.
Is he?
I would bring him on up top.
Is he up top? He's
pacey. He's like Hernandez.
He's the guy who goes for it. Yeah.
What about? I was gonna say Wilder, but I think maybe we should leave Wilder in the resis and just make him train at home in case one of the players gets injured.
Yeah,
and then we'll call him up.
Kind of like the way Italy should have done with Verratti this tournament. You know?
He's not letting it go.
No, I'm not letting that one go.
I mean, is Golovkin underappreciated in a tournament like this?
Yeah.
Experience.
I think he can come in. He can come in as a sub. You know, he's a little older. He can't play the full 90, but he can sort of be a game changer. A 60th minute substitute if we need.
Yes, I think he's going to be someone that comes on and sees the game out. So much experience, just keeps the ball ticking over.
Yeah. Maybe
who else have we missed?
Maybe
if we're looking at world champions.
Maybe if in the event that we're up in the game, you know, we sub out Crawford and we put in Golovkin. You know, someone who can. You know,
there you go, exactly.
Hold things a little bit steady, and we go from a 4-3-1-2, we shift it back to a 4-3-3. You know.
Yep, exactly. More defensive minded.
Very Italian.
What about a man who's seen it all and done it all? Josh Taylor, unified champion.
Yeah, you know what?
He's not even in the team. Probably because he's playing in the Scottish League.
Yeah. He plays for either Celtic or Rangers, and sometimes they get overlooked.
I think when he comes in, he has to be a midfielder just in case the legs go off Lomachenko because he's getting on as well.
That's true. Yep, that's a great sub. Yep.
Do we need someone really, just someone who's unpredictable?
Brona.
There you go. Yeah, it makes sense.
Brona's like our Balotelli. He's the locker room killer who you always have to wonder, is his talent worth the headache?
Exactly. A bad apple in a changing room, but you might just need him at some point.
And there's always a debate in the media. Is he worth bringing or is he not?
Always. All right, last one. Who deserves the wild card? Who deserves to be at this Euro? Not at this Euros, at this World Cup.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. See who else we got.
Not a mention yet for Anthony Joshua.
We haven't even got Anthony Joshua. I guess Anthony could be the backup keeper, but then we don't need it.
Yeah. We'll go AJ there just in case, and he could double up as a centre back. To be fair, if anything happens to Porter or Bitterbeev.
That's a good point.
There you go. That's our subs.
Yeah, just in case we play a tall team who has a lot of aerial thing. We know we could maybe start AJ instead of Porter.
Our team looks set for any kind of fixture, to be fair. I feel like we'll be able to deal with pretty much anything that's thrown at us.
I like it.
Anyway, guys, let us know what your dream team would look like if it was a boxing team playing at the Euros. And let us know where we've gone wrong, who should be included, who shouldn't be included. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Send these videos in so me and Paulie can judge you. In case I didn't say it at the very beginning, this episode is sponsored by the Tumeric Co. Yes, people, I am Savage Dan.
I'm Paulie Malignaggi.
You are watching Mouthpiece, the official boxing podcast.
We are two of the most knowledgeable, two of the most charismatic, biggest personality guys in boxing, and we are two of the coolest cats talking about the sport today.
This episode is sponsored by the Tumeric Co. The Tumeric Co. creates great tasting turmeric shots that harness the power of natural ingredients to support individuals on their wellness journey, offering anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, energy and immunity booster benefits.